Okay. All I'm going to talk about right now is an experience I had today. Um, so I have been participating in. It's called a Mayan activation. Um, it is to open your third eye, um, tap into. I'm just gonna say the way I perceive it is for me is to open more clearly the channel to my Christed self, to Christ, okay? Which is the same as saying open more successfully, more clearly the channel to source. Okay, you can go in there now. Um, so today I was some things changed in my schedule, and so I kind of felt like there was somewhere I needed to be, though there really wasn't anywhere I needed to be. Kind of had a feeling of, it's not anxiousness exactly, but it is, the feeling is like, I feel like I'm supposed to do something or supposed to be doing something, and I just couldn't put my finger on what that something might be. I'm going to try to move that. Okay. Um, so I put my hands together and I just closed my eyes and sat at the kitchen table and got kind of still and said, what is it that I need to do? I have this feeling. What is it that I need to do? And so I got as still as I could and allowed my mind to quiet. And I was then impressed with go for a walk. Okay. So I said to my dog, I said, okay, Spirit says I'm going for a walk, so I'm going for a walk. And it's a beautiful day. We had a lot of rain yesterday, as many people did around this area, and there were threats of flooding and the like. Today, the sky, there's some white puffy clouds, but otherwise the sky is as blue can be. The sun is magical, and it's not the temperature is amazing. So I went for this walk, and as I was walking, and why I don't know, Forrest Gump, the character Forrest Gump, came into my mind, and clips from that film. And like it or not, those who are in the alternative media speaking things about our celebrities, I always had I loved movies with Tom Hanks, Keanu Reeves, Brendan Fraser. These are like, if they made a movie, I wanted to see it. So I was walking along, and this movie Forrest Gump and the character came into my mind, and I asked the question. I was like, why are you showing me this? Because I don't even watch TV anymore. Why are you showing me this? And I was impressed with the understanding that, let's look at the character, and the character of Forrest Gump, was not intellectually intelligent, was not an academic type of intelligence, but was certainly full of Christed spirit. I was shown that clip where they were under fire, and he picked up his friend and ran him out, and then he picked up the next guy. He went back and picked up the next guy and ran him out, and his whole character was about how, if we look at it, how the universe, God, source, provided for this character, how he was continuously rewarded in all kinds of ways, and the greatest of which, as I understand it, the greatest of which was that he was able to enjoy every moment, no matter what was happening. He didn't take any of it personally. And how that is what true mastery is. But we wouldn't, how many of us would look at the character Forrest Gump and say, there's a master. That character is a spiritual master, without doing a thing to attempt to increase that spiritual awareness. He just did what felt right in every moment, right? And was rewarded in many ways for that. Many of the rewards that he received, he wouldn't have cared about anyway, because, he, having wealth and money and financial assets were not, it just wasn't important to him. And so I'm getting choked up. As I was walking, I was like, what is this supposed to tell me? And what I realized Spirit was telling me, and then I was being shown other clips of other movies. And why it was showing me clips of movies today, I can't even tell you, but showing me clips of movies where the characters, the next one was Field of Dreams, where if you build it, they will come. Where this man plowed under his corn crop to build a baseball field, and people started coming in lines, just as far as the eye could see. There was nothing but headlights of cars coming to be in this space that he had been told to create. I'm getting choked up again. All of this spoke to me today, and because I've been having doubts creeping in about things that I'm endeavoring, things that I desire, things that I want, that the funny thing is, I didn't want them until I was told that this was the way it was going to be. So Spirit told me this is how it's going to be, and I started to allow myself to envision and daydream about these things coming to fruition. And once I began doing that, really allowing myself to be like, oh, this is how, how might it be? Is it going to be like this? Is it going to be like that? And putting myself into the future, which is what that is, right? I'm getting out of this moment right now. I'm putting myself into the future. And that can be beneficial if it's done with controlled intention, okay? But when we're living in the past or in the future without exercising the proper intent, the Christed intent, that's when things can go awry. And so doubts start creeping in because I'm not aware that I'm doing it until the doubt comes in, and I'm like, oh, okay, here's this doubt. And Spirit was telling me today to get rid of doubt, to focus on how our blessings come. Our blessings are always there, constantly there, that when we live our highest Christed life, in whatever form that takes for us, we are just provided for. These things are provided for us, and we can't necessarily know how it's going to happen ahead of time. And so we just, I don't know how it's going to work out. I only know that this is what I was told to do. This is what I was inspired to do. And so, but today I feel like, when Spirit shows me things like that I know aren't coming from my own mind, because again, I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't watch a lot of television. When things are communicated to me in a way that isn't my natural it's not a thought process I would naturally have just on my own, my small self. I think then, okay, I need to share this. I need to share this. I'm going to pause just a second and see if there was anything more that I'm supposed to pass on. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so what is being impressed upon me at the base of all of this is the great need, the great encouragement from God, from source, from spirit, to encourage us to let go of the fear that our mind convinces us if we do a certain thing, there will be a certain specific kind of outcome. Oftentimes, and this is, we come into these mortal experiences, and the reason we come into these mortal experiences is for the evolutionary progression of our soul or our spirit self, our divinity, our divine self. Now, one might say, and this is true, the aspect of us that is divine needs no progression. It is whole, complete. It is holy, perfectly holy. That's true. But there is this distinct difference between knowing something conceptually and knowing it from an experiential perspective. And that is what we came here for. We came here to have the experiences. And I think if I try to put it into the shortest context possible, I think as we live through life experiences, however many, we come to a point where we're like, okay, I'm done with the challenges and the suffering. I'm done with that now. Like I've gone down that road of this mortal 3D programming. I've lived that life long enough. I'm no longer going to do that. I no longer want to struggle so hard to in an attempt to achieve the things that I think are going to be desirable for me. And I think the importance is where we're going now is what is it that feels like it could be fun, and do that thing. Put everything into that thing. And and I have to tell you that the older I get, so it's really funny, the older I get, the less I want to struggle, but also the older I get, the less risk taking I feel inclined to do. And that's what it feels like. But I guess what Spirit is telling me today and imparting to pass on is that when we make decisions aligning with our Christed self, with what feels joyous, there is no risk. But we must know that there is no risk. That way we're not producing unwanted experiences on that path. So it's like when you fully align to it and you allow yourself to feel joy in it and you allow that to flow, there is no risk. The risk comes when the doubt creeps in and we give it our loving attention, as I say it. And again, loving attention is our attention emotionally charged, which is the power of God. Okay? So we can do that, and again, there's your choice, love or fear. Okay, if the doubt creeps in and we give it the power of God, which is which is word, which is our power. If we give that thing our power, which is God power, then we are aligning with fear and activating and fueling it. If the doubt comes in and we go, that's funny because I know this is what's going to happen. And we again place our power, our loving attention, which is God power, on that positive outcome, what we deem as the joyous outcome, then that is what manifests in the world. And so again, today, Spirit's just telling me, let the doubts go. Let go of the things that no longer serve you, which are those doubts, which is aligning with fear. Live in your joy. Live in your joy. Follow the path of joy, and do not allow the fear of what if it doesn't work out this way. Just believe it's going to work out that way because you were inspired by Spirit to do it. So whatever the outcome is for your highest good. And this is what Spirit is telling me, and giving me Field of Dreams and Forrest Gump as visual and actually even it was playing the clips in my mind, so it was even audio to a point. And just that in that state of innocence, and even it was funny because even Spirit was like, just the act of taking the moment to sit in stillness at the kitchen table, because I became overwhelmed by this need to distract myself because I felt like there was somewhere else I was supposed to be, kind of thing. There was something I needed to do. And taking that moment to sit quietly and ask of Christ within me, what is it that I need to do here? I'm feeling this thing. What is it I'm supposed to be doing right now? And that I heard the message, go for a walk, and did it. I didn't sit there and look at Facebook. I didn't sit there and play on my phone. I didn't even read text, which would have been, something that I might do. I said, okay. And I put everything down and got shoes on that I needed to go for a walk and went for a walk. And Spirit was like, even in the communication, saying that's exactly what needs to happen in my life. And I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I'm sure you all, anyone who sees this will benefit from that. Is even if it sounds like it's crazy to us, even if it seems like that, we have to understand that we have been indoctrinated into crazy. we have been trained into crazy, okay? We have been trained that in order to have X, Y, or Z, we have to do A, B, C, D, and then the outcome is this, okay? But it's upside down. We have not been trained, we have not been taught to manifest from the God power that is in us, that creates and manifests constantly. We have not been trained in that. We have been trained in the limited understanding of what I can create with my hands, or if I can work my body into the ground, I will benefit in some way. And that is not how God works. I mean, the thought that if I do this, I will have this. It is our thought and our God power that is given that belief that creates it, not actually the struggling or the strife that is being done in the process. That's just an unfortunate byproduct. But really, it is our belief in it and giving it the power of God that creates the outcome. And so where we're going now is understanding that we don't have to struggle to have the things that bring us joy. We don't have to. There are ways. And the more we align with our Christed self, the more we align with our joy, the more fluidly these things will just present. It will seem like there is no work at all. It just flows. And so that is my inspiration for today is, looking at the Forrest Gump character and looking at the movie Field of Dreams and how, and it wasn't presented in the Forrest Gump movie. It wasn't presented as he was listening to God, but that's all he knew, in a sense. all he really knew was the divine light that he was. He didn't have the limitations of the intellectual academic mind to steer him away from the many blessings that he would receive from the universe. And in Field of Dreams, same thing. He was just so inspired by spirit, just so inspired that he almost had no choice. He was like, well, this is what I'm being told to do, and I'm going to do it. And because it just feels so right to do it, even though, I'm getting ridiculed by everyone who thinks I'm nuts. He put all of his eggs in that basket and just went for it. And so that is what I'm inspired to share today. Whatever might be going on in the world, I don't know, because I haven't even looked into that today. But we need to really just focus on our joy and aligning with that, and let that be our leader. Let that be the voice that we listen to. In peace and love, may you be blessed.